Top of the day to you all. Welcome once again to PD 5202, Subjects, Curriculum and Resources. Today we shall be talking about meaning of curriculum. Like I said the other time, there are so many different types of definition of curriculum, as there are many experts in the field of curriculum who had given their opinion on what curriculum should be. For the purpose of this course, we shall restrict ourselves to prescriptive and descriptive types of definition of curriculum. And under each type, we shall take two definitions to represent all other definitions. You will find other definitions in your lecture materials. Now, prescriptively, curriculum is defined by J.I. McBrien and R. Brandit. They have the opinion that curriculum is a written plan outlining what students will be taught because of study. Curriculum may refer to all the courses offered at a given school or all the courses offered at a school in a particular area of study. Wheeler, 1967, defined curriculum as the planned experiences offered to the learner under the guidance of school. Now, when you look at these two definitions that represent the prescriptive definitions, we call it narrow definition. It is narrow in nature because it only includes what students are expected to learn, the acquisition of knowledge in subject areas. Acquisition of knowledge in subject areas. So it is narrow in the real sense of it. So when you talk of subject curriculum, maybe mathematics, government, social studies, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. In each of those subjects mentioned and the ones not mentioned, it is clearly written there. The objectives are written there. What students are expected to learn without factoring in the societal expectations. Do you get it now? So all these WAEC syllabus, JAMB syllabus, NECO syllabus, they all fall into prescriptive types of definition of curriculum. Because, for instance, WAEC, they have their syllabus. They have the content areas which they are expecting students or candidates to study. And those are the areas they will concentrate their questions on. Ditto for JAMB syllabus. So all these ones, they are narrowed down to particular areas. Now let's talk about descriptive definition of curriculum. Turner and Turner see curriculum as the reconstruction of knowledge and experience that enables the learner to grow in exercising intelligent control of subsequent knowledge and experience under the auspices of the school. So whether narrow or broad, it's still the school that we superintend. Then Brown defined curriculum as all student school experiences relating to the improvement of skills and strategies in thinking critically and creatively, solving problems, working collaboratively with others, communicating well, writing more effectively, reading more analytically, and conducting research to solve problems. You can see these two definitions. They are descriptive in nature. Apart from the fact that they are expecting students to acquire knowledge in the subject area, in the different subject area, the societal needs are factored into this type of definition. When you are talking about students having the capability, to think critically and creatively, what are you trying to say? You are building such students to be useful to themselves in future and to the society. Because a student that can think critically and creatively will be able to solve problems. So you are preparing them also for future to be useful to themselves and even to the society, not only just to acquire knowledge in the subject areas. Curriculum must include the necessary goals, methods, materials, and assessment to effectively support instruction and learning. A well-tailored curriculum must include all these four elements. And what do we mean by goals? I said goals within a curriculum are the standard-based benchmarks or expectations for teaching and learning. Most often, goals are made explicit in the form of scope and sequence of skills to be addressed. Goal is the long-term objective. What do you want the students to achieve at the end of maybe the session or at the end of their school years? The curriculum must contain all those things. The methods, of course, you know what methods mean. That is the teaching strategies you want to use. What method do you want to use to pass the instruction on each of the subjects across to the student? So the curriculum of each of the subjects must talk about the method you want to use. For instance, integrated science, which is now basic science. The planners explicitly stated that the method to be used to teach any integrated science concept should be one that will actively involve students in the teaching and learning. So all subjects curricula must contain the methods of teaching to be used to teach those subjects. Then the other one is materials. Of course, here we are talking about the teaching aids, or you call it teaching materials. You know, you can't just go to the class and be talking to the chalkboard or to the marker board. You have to drive home your point using concrete materials, which we call teaching aids. So every subject curriculum must contain the teaching materials that will be used to teach different concepts of the subject. You know, we have different topics and different topics with different teaching materials. So the curriculum must contain the different teaching material that we used to teach different topics. The last one there, which a curriculum must contain as one of the features, is the assessment. Assessment. What do you mean by assessment? Assessment in a curriculum is the ongoing process of gathering information about a student's learning. Fine. While you are teaching, you assess your teaching by asking your student questions during the course of the teaching. And we call that one diagnostic evaluation. You want to know whether your students are getting what you are teaching. If they answer the questions correctly, it means they are getting what you are teaching. You move on. If they do not have to answer the question correctly, it means you have to retrace your step. Is it the method you are using that is too high for their level, or some of them are not really catching up with you? Maybe they are slow learners. So whatever the outcome or the question you ask them gives you will determine whether you should proceed with the teaching or you should retrace your step and start all over again. Then at the end of the lesson, you usually have it in your lesson notes, what is called evaluation. You want to know whether the set objectives have been achieved. For instance, you have taught them characteristics of living things and non-living things. At the end of the lesson, you ask them questions based on the characteristics of living and non-living things. So the outcome of their of answering the question now will give you the impression of whether you have achieved the set objectives or not. So these four features are very, very important. They are germane when developing a curriculum. You have to include them in your curriculum. With this, we've come to the end of our interaction on Module 1. When next we meet, we shall be discussing Module 2. Until then, do have a great day.